All right, looks like we are already live now. Let's wait for a couple of more minutes before people jump in. But in the meantime, just playing this sound for everyone to have fun. I think we just need to confirm if we are live everywhere, and then we can just kick off. Yeah, I think we are live. Amazing. So let me just pause this sound of Christmas. Let me just do it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ranveer, first of all, for joining us today. I know it's going to be a vacation time for you guys, but I thought, like, what is the vacation if you don't work with witness and proof of location stuff, right? How that vacation is going to be called as vacation. So we said, like, we are going to be working today along with witness team as well to ensure that our vacation goes with the proof of location. it's a
Let's
it's a good rhyme, right?
let's prove where Santa is, right?
Yeah, let's
Location.
prove where Santa is currently, and let's go with that. So thank you again. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you so much everyone who are going to be like listening us now. Um, Again, wish you all a very Merry Christmas and celebrate your holidays. If you are listening this podcast, so that basically means like you are like us. You want to build something, ship something, and you are going to be working today, and you might be working. And if you are not working, then also you are watching. And if you are watching this after this, you are definitely going to be trying out what Witness and Spheron has been cooking behind the scenes. So to quickly get started from our side, let me introduce first around this Spheron to everyone, to our listeners as well, and then we'll jump into Ranveer on your side, and would love to learn more around Witness side as well. So on this Spheron, we are building the world's largest deep brain compute network, which allows anyone, everyone to participate seamlessly, as seamless as possible, where you can not only connect your normal devices, but you can also connect your farm GPUs, where whatever you have. The best part about Spheron today, and this is what I'm vocal now, currently Spheron's enterprise, which is like mostly the farms, are 100% utilized. So that basically means like all this deep brain compute which we are bringing in, it is getting all the traction and demand. Um, and one thing in all of these devices which we require from our side is to ensure that we have the proper proof of location and everything, and that is where witness comes into the picture, right? So to kind of get started on that part, like Ranveer, I would love if you can introduce yourself a little bit, and then we'll jump into the what is witness, and then follow on some questions before we jump into right into like how exactly witness nodes and watchtowers and all of those concepts, the coolest concept which I've ever heard from you, and then we'll jump into showcasing some things which we have cooked together.
Yeah, thanks for hosting me here, Prashant. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi everyone, I'm Ranvir. I'm the co-founder of Witness Chain. We've been building Witness Chain for around 3 years, essentially around the concept of consensus on physical state. So whenever we think of blockchain enables verification of anything which is digital. It's a trust broker for anything that can be represented purely in digital sense. What we are building is kind of the missing piece on the physical side. Like how do you enable verification when you're dealing with physical assets, physical events, and in general physical attributes? And we have been building a suite of protocols around it. The flag bearer of that protocol is this thing called proof of location, because location is core. If you think of space time, blockchain are doing timestamping, right? And what we want to build in the physical space is doing location stamping, space stamping. And for that, we have launched this protocol called proof of location, and that's essentially what we will be like the watchtowers for proof of location. Is essentially what we are deploying with Spheron. Now, why is this important? It's important because you want to bring trust to the physical world, but more specifically, in this since this is like a deep in this call is focused towards the deep in sector. In the deep in sector, you want to make sure that your infrastructure is actually decentralized so that it can provide services uh, to systems around the globe. And how do you do that? You do that by ensuring, by verifying location of all of your nodes and incentivizing based on that. So that's a quick intro. We'll dive deeper into proof of location throughout the call. Over to you, Prashant.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much. I think that speaks a lot. But as far as I, if you ask me, like I have always been asking this question from you guys, like whenever I met you in person, and also like I'm multiple on our calls, the place where I get confused a lot. What exactly is watchtower? Like, so there are a lot of terminology which you guys use, and would be really great if you can just like let me know. Now I kind of understood over the time after hearing like multiple times like what these watchtowers are. So it would be amazing if you can just give a like glimpse of what exactly these watchtowers are, how they functions, and what are their role into play.
Sure. So the best way to understand this is through analogy, right? So if you're thinking of blockchains, the nodes that ensure that well, you don't double spend, that ensure security in a blockchain are called validators. They're called miners in the POW days. They're called validators now, right? Uh, Watchtowers are an equivalent of validators, but for our proofs. Now, the reason they are called watchtowers is because they are watching over physical attributes. What they actually contribute is their perspective of what happened in the physical world, and that's called a witness, right? So the watchtowers witness what happened in the real world, and based on those kind of witnesses, they come into agreement on what was the actual physical attribute. So let me give you an example of so watchtowers equivalent to validators. I think that's the simplest answer. Now, in the context of proof of location, the way this works is, proof of location essentially is kind of a triangulation. Like all location determination in the end is triangulation. But you want to do this triangulation uh, in a way which is Byzantine resistant, right? So that's why you need like a set of watchtowers which are honest or majority honest. And to ensure that you have honest majority, you need watchtowers to be globally spread out, right? So now you want to determine location by triangulation, but the distance between two nodes, which are like triangulating, is not like your phone, which is communicating directly to your cell tower, but it's happening over the internet because the distances are large. So in this case, what each watchtower is let's say I want to prove a location of a deep in node, right? The way for this to work, the deep in node in this setting is called a prover, right? And the node which is actually uh, verifying that, the set of nodes verifying that are the watchtowers. So the watchtowers will kind of estimate the distance to that prover, right? By running some, think of this as just pings, right? You will ping that and estimate it. So watchtower gathered some information about, hey, from me, like I'm sitting in New Jersey, the location of this node is, I don't know the location as an individual watchtower, but I know that this is 1,000 miles away from me, right? And some node sitting in Denver is like, hey, it's also 1,000 miles away from me, right? And some node sitting in Atlanta is in Miami is like, oh, this is 1,500 miles away from me. So all of these different witnesses will then get combined to determine that, oh, this is what these nodes say, and then you can the system will determine, oh, the location is like somewhere in between, and it's in Chicago, something like that. So that's an example of how watchtower would work in the sense of proof of location. uh,
Correct.
Analogs to that across different proofs, but I think for simplicity this is the
I think while you were speaking, I was trying to like bring some analogy in the real world, like how it basically looks like. So I was just thinking about the ATC towers, right? Air traffic controller towers, the one which rotates on top of that any kind of ATC areas. So what it basically does, it like it just finds out like where how far this flight is. If that flight is in the range, it just starts telling that ATC tower is like, okay, so there is some flight or some object which is nearby it. So to confirm that, they emit more and more some kind of, I don't know like what is that in practicality they call it, because I have read it and read it long back. But just to prove that location, they send more frequencies to it to kind of understand like is it really that thing which we are like expecting to, and start creating that its map also, right? I think it's not very similar, but I think it's very closer to
Yeah,
that.
this is very close. I mean, in terms of analogy, this is very close. It's like a watch. Uh, it's kind of like modern day, like watchtower is equivalent to lighthouse in the modern day
Right,
language.
right.
Yeah, the
Right,
Witness Chain, right? So
right.
it's
And for me, that prover is gonna be that flight, because that flight need to prove that, because I am currently in your jurisdiction and your location, so that flight has to basically emit back or make a call or something like that to the ATC. Okay, guys, I'm in your zone, just to confirm. And that is where I think the ATC guys also calls to that like airport, like all of these people who are there in their radio frequency range, and ask them like, you have to turn around or else you will be like shot down.
okay.
Yeah. Right. I think whenever somebody just so that is where I was kind of like correlating every, like while you were speaking, like, what could be the nearest possible thing which can people
Hmm.
can really understand. And I think the other thing is like the Tesla cars, like most of the time if you find like they are able to identify like who is next in front of you, and depending on that you basically calculate distance and everything, and in real time you give that response to the vehicle itself. I think that's also a very cool, but I think it's way granular. I think ATC is the right example in this case, right?
Yeah, yeah. Tesla moved to camera based. Like, yeah, this is you're talking about radar.
Right.
It's the same technology in both settings, but yes, both of them measure distances by
Distance, right? Right.
wireless.
And the reason we need more and more watchtowers is because then we'll be able to rightly triangulate the provers. Correct? If I'm
Exactly,
not wrong.
exactly.
If you don't, if you so imagine in our case, if you don't have a lot of watchtowers in UAE or in US, or let's say in any specific geolocation of the US, then it will become really tough to triangulate that specific or specific object which you want to triangulate, right?
Right.
So that's one of the reasons like we need more and more watchtowers, and that is the reason we need these watchtowers to be deployed on supernode, like on the phase network, so that the regions which where we have our fizz running, all of this fizz can become with the watchtower by default for the witness. And the moment that, and please correct me if I'm going wrong anywhere, because I get excited whenever I hear that fizz are getting involved into it to bring such kind of thing at mass scale, right? Am I going right, or like am I speaking?
Yeah, yeah, I think
It's right,
like
right?
this is like fizz nodes are the perfect platform to deploy this, because if you think about it, you not only need these watchtowers in large numbers, but you'd also need them geographically distributed, right? So having like
Right.
one watchtower, like one data center per country, or like per like region in the US is not good enough. You need those watchtowers in every state or in every city, right, to effectively triangulate. Now, expecting if I go and like deploy this using AWS, yes, I can deploy a million nodes on AWS, but they're all going to be in the same location. And if they're all in the same location, uh, well, it's not going to add a lot of value. But what Fizz enables is that it enables, you know, residential like users with their laptops to like log in to and like start running watchtowers. And what that would do is like it will introduce geographical diversity and numbers to the watchtower deployment, which is ideal for our case. I mean, in fact, we couldn't use AWS. Like, I think AWS would only have like I think it's less than 100 data centers throughout the globe, whereas for Fizz nodes, it will be the number of nodes would be way higher. Okay, looks like Prashant just disconnected.
Let me check with him. This didn't supposed to happen, but I was there just in the background. Let me check with him. He's here.
Hey, you think about it, like just to continue that point,
Yeah,
maybe.
I
You
was
know,
listening very closely to this. Like in terms of proof of location being one of the biggest issues that is being solved and which is very required in compute. Like I would give you perspective from compute end and specifically like what the issue is like we preach that decentralization can happen for compute so easily, but at some point of time we seek that if retail is connecting their GPUs, or if they are connecting anything with any sort of network, there are ways. Like I think the time we were testing out even the Watchtower node, and we got to know that one of the nodes that was connected on top of Spheron was supposed to be in Poland, and but it wasn't in Poland. Like it was someplace else, and it's supposed to, like, that's how you verify that. I think Prashant's back. Just a second.
Hmm.
And we feel like it is very required for any of the compute. I don't know, just not compute, but
Yeah, I think everywhere where the value, like where the value is provided by things being in the edge, right, is where you would need location-based services.
and
And I
I
think
think, yeah,
one of the biggest, yeah, it's not just edge. It's also, I mean, you might also have to do compliance and all other requirements that a compute platform has to satisfy. But yeah, I think that's a broader idea in this context. But since Prashant likes analogies, right? One analogy here is you can now, if I use AWS, that's just like using, okay, I just have what each watchtower is in proof of location is an equivalent of a satellite, right? A GPS satellite. Now, okay, GPS. In case of GPS, the more number of satellites you have, the better you will be able to determine your location. The same exists for watchtowers. And with AWS, I can only get 60, 70 satellites, whereas with Fizz nodes, I think there are like, I don't know how many, 2,000, 20,000 satellites or something, which is
Yeah, we are touching 20,000.
awesome. Awesome.
But by the way, guys, so sorry. I think something has happened. My internet just vanished.
I think
Boom.
this is not
It
a
never
good day
happened.
for Spheron team and
Like,
internet.
yeah. I think all the folks who are running the internet services, they wanted to be on vacation, and especially I'm in office. I don't like. I think they must have just switched it on, like switched it off
They're
from
like,
their
who
side.
is this guy?
Why this guy is not going home? Yeah, why this guy is not going home? He has to go
Well,
home.
they're censored, Prashant. We need decentralized internet.
Oh man, so that's one of the reasons. Like I just tweeted, I just wrote a tweet around that also few weeks back where I spoke about how helium and all of these guys are very important for this entire internet to survive. And as we are kind of building all of this decentralized internet together and all of those stuff, we really need it, because if you don't, this is what happens.
Yeah,
you, I, I hopped into three internet just now. Even though then also, like, I'm currently running on my phone, mobile phone internet, which is connected from in like it's a roaming one which I've got connected itself. So again, apologies to you, to everyone like who might have been listening, and I was like suddenly cut off. I hope you had a good time with Prakash also, because he knew what he had to ask. But just to following up on that, right? I think we most of our things around witness. There's one thing which I wanted to also ask from you is like, so let's say if I am a community member, I am going to be participating and running this watchtower. What is in it for me? Like why I should really do it, and why I should be the part of that? Like I think it's a very good question which all the community members definitely ask, both from Fizz Node, both the people like who will be running it also, right? Why I should be doing it? Why I should just waste my some resources on watchtowers?
of course. Yeah. So I think the answer is quite simple. Right? Any verification. So why is there value in running a validator for any blockchain system? The value is the blockchain system is providing you, everybody else, the service of verification on the digital products, right? And the value of that verification gets passed down to the community, which is the validator. The same happens for proof of location, where it's providing verification services, location verification services for a whole suite of industries. And the value into that that is accrued by that verification goes directly to watchtowers. Uh, so it's a very simple uh, logic around it. And on top of that, the way watchtowers are structured, proof of location watchtowers is essentially running just a very simple form of compute, which is just replying to ping. Right? So it's just sending out ping and replying to it, and it's signing that ping message. And that's something your computer does by default to a lot of connections, right? So even for to establish a connection with any server, it would
Yeah.
send things to that server. The watchtower is just doing that. It's just signing on top of it. So the compute requirements are very low. And I'm sure you'll go to that when you're showing over the deployment. But
Yeah.
when it's running, it takes 100. It takes zero point 0.1 GB to zero point 0.2 GB of RAMs, and it requires less than one core. So very low compute requirement can just run in the background, and you won't even know it.
Got it. So my most question is like, which most of the Web3 community members ask. I know you should not answer this, maybe because of multiple reasons, but the whole intent here is to like, so the way which you have just said is like all the validator thing which will be passed on to the community as well. I think there's a lot of community members like who must be knowing like what basically running the validator means and how those validators are being like contributing to the network. And there is one thing which we always tell in Web3 is like whenever you run anything, you become the part of that ecosystem. So does it also represent the same thing? Like if I run today Watchtower, am I going to be like becoming the part of the Witness ecosystem as such in a longer term? Or it's just like, okay, I just ran it, that's it. Like I'm not a part of ecosystem. I'm just doing a favor to Ranvir and witness.
No, if that's not the ecosystem, I don't know what is. Right? I mean, okay, there is an ecosystem of users of proof of location, but there is an ecosystem of suppliers, and like I think by being a watchtower, you'll be part of that ecosystem.
Amazing. So I think I already understood. And for all the committee members again, if you are listening it's your time to go ahead and do it. Like go ahead and start running those watchtowers, because these watchtowers, as a tech person I'm speaking, these watchtowers are going to be playing a very vital role, because as what Ranveer has just mentioned is we need this triangulation to happen effectively across the world so that these deep in objects, deep in attributes can be created, and we can easily verify and validate where that particular node is coming into as a digital infra. And also like if somebody wants to validate some other location, they can do it over the time as the system mature as well. So without further ado, the thing which I wanted to basically showcase to the people is like how we made easier like for everyone to run these watchtowers, right, in just few clicks. Okay, and this is what I'm going to share with every one of you here. And with that, one more thing, we are making running this entire watchtower at zero cost for Witness. So that basically means like anyone who goes and deploys that, it's going to be like near to zero cost. When I say zero cost, in reality, you have to pay some amount. The reason be because we don't want our system to spam. Like it's like we don't want people to spam the system suddenly, like flood the entire system. So there is a cost which is going to be involved, but whatever you are going to be depositing in Supernodus or Spheron, you will be getting it back completely. So that basically means like you are just paying like very minimal amount to basically run these kind of nodes. So to get started with that, and again, I'm reiterating the reason we are charging this is that so that you don't spam us. Like we literally get a lot of spam on Supernodus because people just go and click, and they just want to do it. Um, all right, so here's the deal. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share the screen, Ranveer, to confirm me if you can see my screen. And then what I'll do is we will start the session. Right. So can you see my screen? My terminal. Okay. Terminal is visible. This is also visible.
Yep.
Amazing. So I think you must have tested it out, but I'm just going to show you again is how easy to launch. Okay. So I'm currently running some of the node, guys. If you want to go ahead and run them, you are free to do it. But the best part to run the node today for Witness as a watchtower is to get into supernodus.com. You might be seeing like whenever you log in, you will find like whatever you deposit, you get the entire money back. So go to the billing and then add the fund and start deployment. There are a couple of things which I am allowed to say here is that Supernodus also allows you to earn FN points. These FN points are only be earned by the node who are connected to the network, to the Spheron. Like, so they only can basically farm these points. Apart from that, you can only earn the point by deploying the nodes. And we have already added the bonus on the witness as well. Okay, so if you go ahead and do today deploy any witness node, you will be able to farm like FN points as well from for the super nodes. These are the points. Again, it's a gesture of gratitude from our side for people, like, because what these guys are building, it's amazing as a tech, and we want to support them with the full capacity possible, because we need more watchtowers across the globe to be set up. Okay. So with that said, what you can do as a community is come to marketplace, go to witness chain. Simple, no, nothing very special. Like, anyone who has a little bit knowledge of tech, they can do it. Come to, and not even little bit knowledge, zero knowledge of tech can do it. You just come here, select a month. I would recommend a 1 month, because that is when you will start seeing that challenges and everything coming on your system, because it takes some time to basically like pick up the challenges and everything. And then here is the region. Okay, and this is what Ranvir was mentioning. In Spheron today, there are a lot of fizz nodes currently. Like, if I open now, we have, hope so we have not touched 20,000, because last time I tweeted it was 1993. Let's see. Oh my god. We okay. So I last time I tweeted today, it was like 1893, and just few minutes back, I think a half an hour, 1 hour back. Now we have more than 19,000 nodes. So again, kudos to all everyone. Like, I think this 19,000 node number just came today. Merry Christmas to all the fizzers, like making the entire stream more happier for me. Like, I'm really excited now. But yeah, coming back again. So we have these 90,000 nodes, which are growing continuously. And if you can see the graph, this is what the location basically look like. It's everywhere, like literally everywhere these fizz nodes are. So what is going to be happening is, the moment you select any location here, those are the location where their watchtower is going to be like located into. Okay. In our demo, I'm just going to be selecting Turkey. You can select whatever region you wish to. If there is a node into that region, it will deploy it there. If there's no node, it will not deploy. Okay. Now coming to the second part, I think this is very important. For this, I have received a message from Ranvir today. Make it watchtower private key, not a private key. The reason we have made it watchtower private key is, as a user, you have to understand, you don't put any private key here, which is where you are holding the funds. Okay, it's a burner wallet. When in crypto term, we call it as a burner wallet. Burner wallet is basically like it should not have any kind of fund. It should be just used for any kind of deployment, where if it is also exposed, it doesn't creates any kind of fund loss. Okay, so that's the private key which you have to put here. Again, I'm reiterating, it's not your MetaMask private key. Like, it can be a private key, but it has to be a specific wallet private key. Okay, it should not be like your entire MetaMask seed phrase you are going to put it here. So this is what I'm going to put here, which I have basically copied. Ranvir, if I'm going wrong
Yeah, I mean,
anywhere, you can basically chip in.
it's recommended to just create a new wallet key from scratch and only use it for this purpose and not use it anywhere else, because this key is shared on this is put on this platform, and it will be hosted by some other node,
Yes.
which you don't control. So in that case, just make sure it has no funds in it, and you don't
Right.
use it again at some other services which might have funds.
Right. So it's a burner wallet. So that's the reason I'm saying again, it's a burner wallet. It should not have anything into it. So once it is done, what you will find is, like, you will be able to earn 72 FN points out of it, which is very good. It's a share of the fizz noders, like, who are earning these points. Now you're also able to earn these points. If you want to give it a name, you can give it a name. So I'm saying like testing demo here. Generally, whenever we do a demo, things do break. Okay. So now I'm going to hit deploy. With the assumption that everything works. Hope it works, but that is how it works basically. Okay, once you click on deploy, the next stage is this, which you have to follow, and this is the mandatory step, and this everyone has to do it. After the deployment, this is the step which you have to follow. You have to come here, resting the watch key one, copy this as it is, a shell script. I am using Mac, so I have installed iTerminal in my Mac. You can use terminal as well. click here. It's just a copy paste. There's no knowledge, there's no some fancy technology which you need. Just copy and paste. I am just pasting it now to ensure like this CLI is getting installed. Okay. So it is downloading. It will take some time because I'm in on a very bad internet situation now. So it is downloading very slow. Once it's downloaded, the next stage is this one. Okay, where you have to basically pass your private key, and this is it. This is what that completion of registration means. Once you do this, your node will be registered. But I'll pause here. I'll also allow Ranveer to tell me if I'm doing something
It's
wrong
this
here.
one note.
But
It's recommended to do this registration before you go and deploy. So do this registration.
oh,
No, it
okay,
will work either way, but it's more stable if you do registration first and then deploy it after you have
got it.
registered the key.
So rolling back whatever I just said, you have to come here, register first your private key, go to Supernodes and make the deployment. Okay, so the best part is
Yeah.
like it worked. Okay, so that basically means like Spheron tech does work even while we are on live stream,
Awesome.
which is the good part. Like which is the best part about us is like it does work. So that's so if you can see here, there is something called like starting witness chain. So Challenger is live, like Challenger is live now. Witness chain prover is also live. When you see these two green marks, that basically means like you are all set. Now the next stage is, as I said, is what Ranveer has said is like do a registration first. So do a registration first. Okay, don't go with what I'm saying. And my internet is bad, so it will take some more time to download. But essentially, you just have to copy and paste the same thing here. All right, so let me just do one thing here and just do this. So this is what I need to do is go and copy paste. All right, but I'm not going to do it because my internet basically sucks now. I'll not consume a lot of internet, but let me
Yeah,
try
this
doing. Okay, I think how much time do we have left? I think we
yeah,
have a time left. Okay, let me do it.
yeah, this is just essentially posting a transaction on our chain, which is saying that oh, this is the key associated with the watchtower. So
Okay, so then I have to basically download it. So essentially, this is what happens. Everyone is quite simple and easy, very straightforward. Again, I'm just going to show you and demo you how it happens. Go to the marketplace, click on witness, and just pass all the values. Before you do any of these things, again, what Ranveer has just told, do this, which is here. Copy this command, paste it in your terminal, which I've already pasted here. It is downloading now. After it downloaded, then just run that command, the next one with your private key. No public key into this one, only private key. Copy it, make the edit, copy paste again. That's it. Come back to Supernodes, put your private key here, put your public key here, and that's it. You are all set. And ensure that you are selecting 1 month, or else in 2 hours it will get closed and you won't be like seeing the magic which is happening behind the scene. So click on 1 month, and that's it. That is what you need to spin up the watchtower and become the part of basically become the ATC for for defense. So if you want to have fun around like doing the policing, be a watchtower and become the part of the policing, which is getting built by witness team. And thank you later that I told you how to become the part of like witness ecosystem. I think I have covered all, Vladimir. I'll stop sharing my screen now, and I'll also drop the video link and everything for everyone to take a look. Update CLI. Okay, somebody's saying update CLI. I think they are installing right away. Guys, just take some time. Okay, go back and uh, money gone. Kusko not see. This is what happens. I don't know, bro. Like you have to run. You have to run. You have to run. Witness. Please run that. Go ahead and do it. So with that said, Ranveer, I think we have covered all the major angle of it, like to deploy witness. um, if anyone is deploying witness, be the policing, go and be the part of the network. Again, it's a phase node. There are a lot of upgrade which happens around it, so ensure like you are always going to the super nodes and checking out if node is up and running or not, as we are working to make it more and more stable. But the entire stack is up and running for you. Like if you want to become a watchtower, go ahead and become that. It's quite seamless and easy. Right. With that, do you have any kind of closing comment here, Ranvir?
No, I think this covers it very well. Excited to have uh, Fizz nodes part of the network, and we'll have some very exciting announcements in the new years.
Amazing. So we are looking forward to that. And with that said, before we move forward, there are people like who are saying like platform is not running. The platform is running. I just deployed it in front of like everyone. So it's all running. There might be some issues, some which happens in the product. Not anyone is perfect here. We all are building towards to build something which is very amazing and interesting for everyone. So don't hesitate to give us a feedback. Go ahead and drop on Discord whatever issues you are facing. Either you are facing on Witness side, it may be possible. You may also face issue from our side. That also possible. We have opened up our Discord channels where all of us are active. Ranveer is active in his Discord. We are active on our Discord. We all are actively working to solve the queries together. So if you face any issues on Witness side while installing nodes or anything like that, you can ask them a question. Any questions around what is prover, what is challenger, what is policing, what is deepin, I would highly recommend everyone to go ahead and join Witness and be the part of their ecosystem. If you have any questions on supernodes, Spheron, how the deployment works, my node is not getting deployed, this is not working, that is not working, we have a Discord. Come, ask your question, put down your questions. Our community is very active and we'll be more than happy to answer and resolve your queries ASAP. With that said, happy weekends and basically happy holidays for tomorrow. All the people like who will not be working, I'll be working because I don't have any choice. Because we work in global time zone and we find like a lot of folks are into like different time zones and some for them this Christmas yet not arrived, so we need to work. So but any closing thoughts, Ranveer, before we wrap it off?
No, I think this is amazing. Please join our Discord. I think there
Yeah.
will be updates coming on soon. If you face any issues, just go to our website. There's a link to Discord. We'll provide any support you need over there.
Amazing. Before we drop off, a small like song for everyone of you here. For tuning in, everyone, and take care. Thank you, Ranveer, for joining.